Hey everybody, Rob Orgel, Silencer Syndicate. We're here at SHOT Show 2025, and we've got just a few more booths. We're kind of wrapping things up slowly, and thankfully it's been a long couple of days, and we would be very remiss if we did not take the time to talk about Stealth Additive Works. SAW.
Yep.
I'm going to start calling it SAW now because that's kind of a mouthful. So SAW, and there's really not a lot out there yet because it's just been released SHOT Show.
Yeah, correct.
So
correct.
The first iteration of your silencer, which I know you'll have a newer silencer already.
Yeah.
I have your current one, and I will hold my opinions on it until I give you a chance to talk a little bit about the company.
Yeah, we're pretty new to the business. We've been making suppressors for just about 5 months now. So it's not a super long time, but it's been a ton of prototyping in that time, a ton of time in the shop, a ton of time out shooting them in the field. And it's been a wonderful experience to be in the industry. We've just learned a ton and gone out and sought different information where we can. One of those inspirations was your channel. Before I worked for SAW or Stealth Additive Works, I bought my first can this last year.
Oh, cool.
And so I walked into the gun shop and I said, you know, what are you looking for? And I said, low back pressure. That was my only.
That was a criteria.
That was it. That was the only criteria I had. And they kind of pointed around the cabinet, and we found a great 3D printed Inconel suppressor at the time. Right, it was my first suppressor I bought, and it was low back pressure. Right, that was my must-have.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've been going through making these cans and trying these different iterations and all these different prototypes, low back pressure has been one of the key components. And I don't think anybody wants to buy a suppressor that's not quiet. So
very much so.
Right, so it seems like a waste to make something that isn't quiet. And I think there was a little bit of revelation in, we were told that you couldn't do low back pressure or quiet. Like,
you had to pick one of the two.
Yeah.
And once upon a time, maybe a year or two ago, that would be honest.
Yeah, and so that was something that we really sought to tackle that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Say, we want quiet. No one wants to buy a loud can, but we want low back pressure. And the titanium has been the benefit of lightweight. So it's kind of all these things have come together. It's a lot of prototyping, a lot of shooting, thousands of rounds downrange trying to figure out.
So I think I need to be careful when I talk about this suppressor because I'm very impressed by the suppressor. And
sure.
I think, we spoke with a couple that are not even in phase one of making their silencers. They're just kind of beginning to put together the ideas of making their silencers. And in this world of David and Goliath, it's very hard to be a David and throw a stone at a Goliath and have it make a difference. And there's very little advertisement, very, very little understanding of silencers in this space right now. And to get that information out about, it's the American way is to not always buy your coffee from Starbucks, but to also buy your coffee from the local guy who's feeding his family. Starbucks doesn't care if you buy coffee from them, but that local guy, that means a lot to him.
Yep.
And that's the David Goliath game. There are so many major manufacturers with millions, if not billions of dollars of equipment where they get to test ideas and use supercomputers and come up with the next latest, greatest. But that doesn't mean that there's not great local coffee that's doing cool stuff. And to the point that, speaking with Zane about how you've followed our videos, how you've seen at least my priorities of what I think a good silencer is, and really focusing on that. And I can tell because I absolutely love the silencer. I've looked at it from many different angles. I played with it quite a bit. And the last batch of 10 silencers that came in, I was very excited about 3 different silencers.
Sure.
But once I got my hands on this one, because I was like, well, it's one of the new guys, so, we'll see. It's new guy stuff. We'll see.
Yeah,
and then I put my hands on it. Oh my goodness, it's crazy light. It's low back pressure. It sounds amazing. And I have the previous iteration. I know the new iteration is lower back pressure and quieter. And Zane made some claims about what he was able to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm a skeptic. I'm going to say, well, that would be cool if you do that. Let's see. I know that that's already on the way for testing, and I'm very excited to test it. So I want you all to see my disclaimer here, and that is a lot of the time I'm like, yeah, it's okay, or yeah, it does this well, but doing all the things well is a very, very difficult thing to do, especially when you're up against the science and technology that these other companies can just throw out the window and say, well, that was a bad program. And you're not having that budget, but you're making phenomenal coffee. And I think people who rely on the Goliaths will easily overlook it if it's not shown in the right way.
Right.
And I want to show you that can in the right way, and I'm going to show you that can because I am so darn excited about it. And I don't want to show you the current generation. I showed a quick short of that suppressor. It was called it's a weird name. What's it called?
Ekron.
The Ekron 5.56.
Yep.
I've been calling it like the Stealth 5.56. So I'm a
There
simple guy.
There you go.
However, I played with it a little bit. I've tested it a little bit. I've already done some nighttime muzzle flash. I've done a handful of experiments with it already. And I cannot emphasize this. It is currently my favorite 5.56 silencer. And yes, we've given a lot of awards based on what happened last year,
Sure.
but into this year, it's currently the silencer that impresses me the most. It is on my defensive weapon on my bedside. It is my current favorite 5.56 suppressor. So with this newer generation, I'm very excited to dive into. You're going to be up against some hurdles because there's a lot of cool guys doing cool stuff with the conglomerates. They're making a new mocha frappuccino that you're going to have to keep up with. But as of right now, I'm totally blown away. And I remember seeing some comments when I released that video. Oh, that's a paid shill thing. Oh, you got paid, or oh, you got a free silencer.
Yeah.
Look, we get a lot of free silencers. I didn't pay for 126 silencers. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
I don't know people that have that kind of money, and the people that do don't spend it on silencers.
Yeah.
So yes, we're being given lots of silencers for testing, so we can report back to that manufacturer, help them critique their design, and help give that information to you as a byproduct. This is the free instructor that you get every time we post these videos that take a lot of work. But we love doing this. We love sharing what we're finding, but there's no biases. There's no kickbacks. There's no any of those things. And so to say that this new guy has an amazing silencer, if we asked for money from somebody else, they'd probably give it to us to say that. And we're not going to do that.
Yeah. I think it's tough too being new. I mean, you hinted on that being new in the market. Totally. I've had a lot of dealers that I've reached out to who are very interested in the product, but they've also got burned by small dealers, right? Yeah. And so, our production capacity is low. And so we have to be real careful about, what we're prototyping, what we're producing, how we go to market, because, I can't put out 10,000 suppressors
to
a month.
That exact point.
Yeah.
Eric at East Valley Tactical, I told him about your silencers.
Yeah,
I said, I'm blown away by these. And I said, and they're about to put out 15 of them. And I said, if you're smart, you'll grab all 15. And he called and he claimed all 15.
Yes.
I think -1 because I think I'm getting one from that batch.
Yes.
But where we're going with this, where it already is very impressive. And I think you're right. People are scared of the new guy. People are scared of the LLC that can disappear tomorrow. But I think that you guys are really onto something. I'm very excited for your launch, and I'm very excited to help in any way I can to bring that product to market, because it is truly an interesting product in a saturated market of people claiming to have interesting products.
Yeah, the guys at the shop, right? They burn the ships. They're all in. I mean, they're there overtime, they're there weekends, they're there nights, just making the product better. I drag them out, right? I work my normal 8 to 5, and then I drag them out after hours to go shoot and shoot the weekends. We're back to shooting PRS matches and USPSA stuff, and with some of our prototype cans on the pistols, and we have so many products we want to launch. We're staying really focused on, our 22 cal suppressors, our 5.56 and our 30 cal.
Yeah. The 22 silencer, proof that I'm not biased. I called Zane right after I tested it, and I said that the 22 silencer is nifty in a lot of ways, and how different it is. However, there's a bit of a pitch when compared to its buddies that is different, and some might call it a little bit more offensive. I'm splitting hairs, of course.
Sure.
If you were by yourself shooting this can, you would say it sounds like a suppressed 22.
Yeah.
Its additional capabilities make it interesting, but as measured in the matrix of a 22 suppressor, one might say, well, my buddy's dead air sounds a little bit quieter than mine. So there's definitely room for conversation on the 22 suppressor. I've not played with the 7.62 silencer, but the 5.56, I'm very impressed by that 5.56 silencer. I think you guys are really onto something, and I look forward to putting more information about that silencer on the channel, because I know you guys are chomping at the bit to hear much more, see much more testing. We're testing. We've been doing a lot of testing. We're going to do a lot more testing, and then we'll make the content about those tests and show you those results. Guys, if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate your support. We're here because of you, and it means the world to us, guys. Keep up that hard work, and as always, stay safe.